Welcome to deTuned. So I hope everyone's having a great week. It's going to be an awesome show. I've got Steve Grimmet from Grim Reaper here. He's going to be giving us an update on his condition. And it's awesome because it's a really inspiring story. The man's had some real hardships in the last few months. Despite all of that, he's like a cannonball. He's just moving forward. He's just plowing through all this stuff, and he's doing really well. He's recovering fast. He's got plans. It's awesome. It's really inspiring, whether you're a musician or come from any other walk of life. It's a great story. So and we're gonna just talk about some heavy metal with him as well. And moving on, we're gonna hear some music by Grim Reaper, of course, Cauldron, Anvil, and this one here is by a band that's not currently active. They're called Midnight Malice. They're from Toronto. Amazing album that was released a couple years back called Proving Grounds. I suggest it. Go check out this album, and I hope one day that these guys get back together and start playing again, because like I said, their album Proving Grounds was it's just a masterpiece, and this is a cut from that album right here. It's called In the Dead of the Night. welcome back. So, for anyone, I guess who hasn't been following this, anybody remember the back in 2012 when you just woke up one morning and social media was just completely flooded with Kony 2012? And anyway, so now Associated Press is reporting that Joseph Kony, may never be found or brought to justice upon the news that, well, the United States and others who have been hunting for this guy have now decided to pull out. So quoting that article here, it says, Kony became internationally notorious in 2012 when the US-based advocacy group Invisible Children made a viral video highlighting the LRA's alleged crimes. So now the LRA being the Lord's Resistance Army, which was Kony's army, if you will. Basically they've said that they've basically degraded the group down. Over the years since 2012, and I guess even prior to that, they've gotten his army down to I think they were saying somewhere in around just over 100 known members. This group was they're accused of killing over 100,000 people, according to the UN. The U.S. has offered up to $5 million for any information leading to his capture. So it was big news anyway. But so they've withdrawn from the manhunt, I guess. I guess they feel like his power has been sort of deflated enough that either he's not a threat or they've just decided to just pull the plug on this thing. So yeah, anyway, if anyone was interested in that. But moving on, the UK, in the UK anyway, Facebook is now bidding for political influence by hiring ex-Tory and ex-Labour aides. So to build influence as a political tool, they're now going to be hiring political experts from, I guess either side of the spectrum. And they've confirmed this to The Guardian UK. That they've employed staff, quote here, whose role it is to help politicians and governments make good use of Facebook. Again, I'll continue quoting this article. So Facebook recruits include a former Downing Street advisor to David Cameron, a former aide to ex-Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls, and a social media expert who worked with the Tories election strategist Linton Crosby. So yeah, this is also an article by RT, I should add. So they're saying that Facebook is seen as a key tool given the amount of data that is collected by the platform about its users. There are an estimated 31 million users in the UK. Political parties have huge lists of email addresses, telephone numbers, and Facebook IDs, and can target users with tailored messages. The main parties and other pressure groups, such as the Taxpayers Alliance, are likely to have details of around 10 million UK voters. A campaigner who wished to remain anonymous told The Guardian all of this information there. So the same gentleman, a gentleman or female, I'm not sure, the same anonymous person told The Guardian that if they click, a specific person has shown as an interest. You can feed that back and know who and where they are down to the postal code. That's what the campaigner said. So then you can change the messaging to suit what you need politically to whoever is going to be receiving the message. So anyway, obviously, I guess in the past few months too, with the U.S. election and everything, there was a lot of talk about all this, how the social media had influenced the elections, and anyway, just thought that was interesting that Facebook is sort of going more into this route. I think we've all seen it already, but it's interesting. So it just goes to show again, you can't believe every single thing that you're fed, whether it's on the news media, on TV, on the internet. There's just, you're dealing with private entities here, people. So when you're using their platforms, you're really going to be subject to whatever they, allow you to be subject to. They're, you're using their platform. This is not a right; it's a privilege for people to use it. Right? It's free, and all that. And yeah, millions of people use it. Billions. They rely on people to use that to maintain their, their business, their money flow, if you will. But at the end of the day, it is their platform. So when it comes to how they display, how they distribute information and news. just like anything else, you never know. You don't really, you have to look into things. You have to use multiple sources and things like that, right? So anyway, moving on to something really cool. In London, the Associated Press is reporting that the Victoria and Albert Museum's new exhibition is a psychedelic time capsule of a show devoted to the band Pink Floyd, complete with floating pigs, surreal animations, and trippy projections. So the article continues here. Pink Floyd was given limitless studio time to create sprawling albums that sold in the tens of millions. The band staged multimedia shows so huge and technically ambitious that the set for one tour took approximately 8 days to assemble. And someone in the article here quotes, or was quoted saying, the adage that Pink Floyd had was, "The art comes first, the money comes later." So, and then continues, it was whatever it cost to do it because that's what we believe in. And I mean, yeah, okay, sure, but I mean, at that time, and I think actually this article, to be fair, this article does continue to explain about how the industry was just different back then. Like, for rock music in particular, back in the 60s, the industry was really just getting revved up, the rock industry. And it was, anyway, like at that level where it was just dumping tons of money into some of these artists. So yeah, these guys could go and record for hours and days and months and come out with, these just amazing masterpieces because, there was the backing money to do it, and they knew that they were going to get the return needed to invest the kind of funds to do that kind of a project. So anyway, moving on here. We've got a really good show, like I said, with Steve Grimmet coming up next. But first, we're going to listen to "See You in Hell" by Grim Reaper.
have quite a good following in Canada. The last tour we did 3 shows there, and they were all really well attended. It was great. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, you guys played
cool.
the Brass Monkey in Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yep. I know you definitely have a big following here, man, because I mean, for even myself, I came across Grim Reaper because of, friends. It was word of mouth around here, and I mean, for some reason, metal, it's I don't know what it's like in UK, but here metal doesn't get the airplay on the mainstream radio like it should.
No, it doesn't here either. Yeah, we've got Planet Rock, which is a digital audio station, and that's 24/7. We've got a few rock ones, but it's not mainstream. So you have to have a digital radio to be able to listen to it.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near as good as it should be, really. Pain in the backside. Never mind.
Yeah, it's the same here. We've got the Sirius satellite radio and stuff you can get in your car and whatnot now, and then you can get some good stations on there. I think Ozzy Osbourne even has like a station that he sponsors or something. They play a decent variety, like older stuff, newer stuff, but yeah. So yeah. So how are you feeling, man? How's everything?
Getting there.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. The recovery program is going according to plan, maybe a bit quicker than according to plan, but it's all in all, it's really hard work.
Yeah, of course.
Very tiring. Just being in the wheelchair and moving yourself around and doing stuff. It's very. You get very fatigued after, Well, just before you rang, I was asleep because I'd been in the wheelchair all day, messing around, or all morning and some of the afternoon, messing around, and basically it was, you get so tired, and then because I'm having 2 physiotherapy sessions a week, and I come back from that and I'm absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not easy. But I will be. Well, my first show is on the 14th of July this year. So I've got to be able to walk by then. Well, I pretty much can already, but I've got so much more to do. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing to hear. I mean, you're recovering fast. It sounds like, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it feels like forever.
I don't know why.
For you.
I mean, it does. Yes, it does. Of course, it does. And it's still very frustrating that I can't do what I used to be able to do. When I think about it, I will be able to, and so by the end of the year, I'll be able to do. Get up out of my chair and go and walk to my workshop at the end of the garden and stuff like that. I'll be able to do that.
Oh,
whereas
good.
at the moment I can't. My wife has physically got to help me to get there. So, I will be able to do it, and I will do it. So, yeah, it's all good.
Good, man. Good. Well, that's excellent to hear. I know the fans over here in Canada, myself included, I'm a bit major fan. We're all rooting for you, man. So, I mean, obviously, we hope for nothing but
Thank
the best.
Thank you, buddy.
Of course.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, how has the reaction with fans been with all this? I know from what I've seen nothing but just everybody's been reaching out and supporting and.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Really, it's very humbling to be perfectly honest with you. These guys, the outpouring of love is awesome. I went last weekend. Millie and I went to Keep It True Festival. The organisers had invited us there just to do signing session, and that was it basically. So we did that, but it was really good, because I got around the whole thing in my wheelchair, and people were like, stopping me for photographs and autographs and stuff like that, and were amazed that I was actually there, and it was really good. But it's been like that since day one, really. The people are concerned, people are like sending their best wishes and all that sort of stuff, and it hasn't stopped. So what we're trying to do is keep everybody informed by using Facebook to let them know how I'm getting on. So we can do videos, but I have to be careful that nobody else, because I'm not the only one that's actually in the hospital room at the time. I have to be careful that they don't get videoed. So sometimes we can do it, sometimes we can't. So, but we will. We'll keep people informed as I do something new and do it really well. Then we'll see. Because the other guys that are actually in physio at the time are so lovely that they'll just say, right, okay, we'll go over this side of the room where you do it. They're really cool. So it's great.
Oh, awesome. So do these guys know, have you run into any metalhead fans in physio yet that have said, oh my God, wow, it's Steve Grimmet?
No, I haven't.
No.
It's no, not in hospital, because especially in the UK, because I'm not really that well known in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So it's okay. That's okay. I mean, they soon find out who I am.
Sure.
I mean, when I went to when I went to the prosthesis hospital, they didn't know. Well, they kind of knew who I was, because my physiotherapist here in Swindon, she'd obviously sent all the stuff on me to them.
Yeah.
And when I had, the first time I went there, I had to see 4 different what do you call them? I can't remember what they're called, all of them, but there were 4 separate people I had to see.
Like specialists or something, I guess.
Yeah, specialists in their own field, yeah. And then basically they got together whilst I was there to have a quick chat about me and what they were going to do, blah, blah, blah. Then they came out, so we got some bad news. And I thought, oh, shit, they're not going to give me a leg. And they said, you won't be able to do any crowd surfing anymore. And I was like, right, okay, yeah. I said I gave that up 20 years ago, so it's okay, yeah. Yeah, but it's really cool. Yeah, so the staff know me, and it was the same in Ecuador. There were loads of fans kept coming in, and the staff were like, well, who is he? And then I know they were checking me out, because I'd suddenly hear one of my songs being played on a computer outside in reception type of thing. So, okay, right, okay. So, yeah, so they did find out who I was, yeah.
That is great.
Very cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's awesome too. You're saying that you're going to be playing some dates. I mean, that's it's cool to see your. Where is it? Is it Germany, if I'm not mistaken, in July?
Yeah, it's Germany. Yeah, it's the Bang Your Head Festival, and we fly out on the early Friday morning. We play around 2 or 4 o'clock. I can't remember which one it is, but let's say it's 2 o'clock, and then later on that day we fly back. So what we're doing, we're flying into Heathrow, and then we're going to stop in a hotel in London, and we will then play a show the following day on Saturday in London, and then we all go home. But then for me, the following day, I have to get up early, because I'm going to a big air show that's just up the road from us, the Royal International Air Tattoo. So yeah, it's a real full-out weekend for me.
Oh, wow. Busy guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I wanted to ask you, I mean, this going a little more just, I guess, musical here. I mean, I'm a big fan, longtime fan. I'm a vocalist as well, and I know a lot of vocalists that I know, metal fans, have taken inspiration from your style. Where do you get your style? Where does Steve Grimmet get his inspiration for when you started, this whole shindig?
But to be quite honest, it's not where you think it comes from or where you would thought. It's not from rock. Many years ago, before I started singing, well, professionally or amateur, whichever, I used to listen to a lot of Elton John, and I still do. I go to his show when I can. He's an awesome songwriter. He's not the greatest of vocalists, but he does a fantastic job.
I agree.
And I've been listening to the guy for years, and it's because of him I sing. So
Wow.
that's my main inspiration. And then obviously we get Holford, Coverdale, Dio. I suppose they're all kind of influences in one way or another. But say the first one was Elton John, and I still listen to his stuff now.
Wow, great, man, great. Yeah, no, I love Elton John myself as well. I mean, for me, it's I guess like a lot of musical fans, it's all about the song, right? It doesn't matter if whatever genre.
No, it's all about the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love to hear melody, and I love to hear it used really well. But the main thing is it's telling the story, and that's one thing he's really good at. He tells the story when he sings his songs, and they're very emotional. And I like to do that myself.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why. And I think that's why you get these top. The top guys, because they do tell a story, and people love that,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, you even had the guy over here, I'm sure you're familiar with Bob Dylan, who everybody says was just an absolutely terrible singer, but could definitely tell a great story and write a great song.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
So where did you, I mean, it sounds like you said, you're a Halford fan, Coverdale. Where did you kind of learn that heavy metal was going to be your thing, like as opposed to going in like a more classical route or something?
Well, I was in a band many years ago, and it was we did our own stuff, but it was mainly covers. And then I got together with a few guys, and we got a band called Medusa together, and we did covers, and we did our own stuff. But what really got me into it was the guitarist wanted to do a Judas Priest song, and I'd never heard of them before. And I said, okay, fine, let me check the song out, and it was Starbreaker.
Nice.
And I was like, well, that sounds awesome. I really like that. And then we got together to rehearse the following week, and it was like, right, let's do it, And I could sing like Holford, and it was just like, wow. and then basically I started falling in love with it then, and I started listening to everything that was going. So it was it wasn't so much of an initiation as I thought it would be for people. They obviously get into metal and then that's it,
Yeah.
But I didn't do that, so and I missed, because of that, I missed a lot of stuff, like Deep Purple and Black Sabbath. I missed all that because I wasn't listening to rock. So
Yeah.
I got into it, and then had to write, I didn't have to, but obviously my interest lied there, so it's like, right, okay, let me see what it's all about.
Sure. Oh, that's awesome, man. And I mean, I guess it, like a lot of things meant to be, I guess, it just happens, right? You just kind of trip over it one day.
Yeah, you do, yeah. And it was all down to her girlfriend. She heard me singing in the bedroom when she came to the house, and she said, oh, you're really good. And 2 weeks later, she got me an audition with a local band, and I auditioned for it and got the job, and then that was it. That's how it all started.
Oh, that is awesome. So are you still listening to any metal right now, or any particular bands you pop on once in a while, or old or new, I guess?
Yeah, I tend to. I've revisited Dio.
Yes.
And I'm just revisiting vinyl.
Nice.
Because my wife has got into vinyl, and we've been to several shows. And when we were at this festival at the weekend, the Keep It True festival, they got a big sales tent, and they were selling records and stuff there. So I came away with a few from there. And the one that I'm listening to at the moment is Live and Dangerous by Thin Lizzy.
Nice.
That was a fantastic album.
It
is.
is.
Great album. Really, really cool.
Yeah,
But,
I love Thin Lizzy.
and it sounds awesome. It does it. I was like, I'm not sure that sounds that better on vinyl, and then now we've got it. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there. I went through the same thing. I was kind of just, yeah, we know, whatever, and then, yeah, as soon as I started picking them up, it was like, yeah, there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any new music, like brand new stuff coming in the works, written, or?
Yeah, we released Walking in the Shadows.
Yes,
That
that's
was
right.
last that one. Yeah, Ian and I are sitting down on Wednesday to start the next one, because we've got time now, because we're not really that busy this year, so it's a good time to like get sorted and get a few songs written, then get together, really bash them out, and then record them.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going to be, because we took 3 years to do it last time, and it absolutely did my head in, and I'm not going to do that again. So we're going to write the amount of songs we need, and then record them and get it sorted pretty quickly. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know fans are too. For me, that's awesome to hear. And you mentioned your most recent album, 2016, "Walking in the Shadows." I think I heard your son did some vocals on that, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He did. He did some backing vocals on it,
Nice.
and but we did a version of "Wings of Angels," where he did the second verse, and that came out on the Japanese version. So I have that one to put out as well whenever I need it. But yeah, he's quite a good singer,
Nice.
and yeah, he did well on that the second verse. So yeah, it's like great.
That's great. Well, I mean, I guess he's got it in the blood, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my daughter sings as well, so we're just waiting to see the grandchildren, see if that any of those happen.
Nice. Keep it coming. Grimmet
Yeah,
family, keep
yeah,
it
that's
coming.
exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
And you got a book coming too, I hear.
I am in the throes. I'm still writing ideas down because I have no idea. I'll hold my hands up to say I have no idea how to write a book. So I'm going to have somebody come in and help me with it.
Yeah.
So it'll be me and another guy, and I've got all these ideas. I don't even know how to collate it. I've got several starts for the book and several finishes, and I'm like, I just don't know where to go with it. So I need to sit down with this ghostwriter and do it, and then really start work on it. And I've got to do it this year because we're not doing a huge amount of work, as far as touring and that is concerned. We're not actually touring; we're just doing festivals. So I've got the time to do it, so I need to.
Yeah, sure. Well, I know that's I can understand where you're coming from too. It's like, where do you start? I guess when you have so much to talk about. I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really want to do another sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This is how I started. This is how I did this. Because it's been done to death, as far as I'm concerned. My label has got a publishing label, and they've been on to me for ages about writing one, and I'm just like so uninspired about writing another sex, drugs, and rock and roll book. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So with what's happened to me recently, that's given me so many ideas, so many reasons for doing it, so many reasons for writing it and directing it at some people. Some people, the diabetic people, and then amputees, and what you've got to go through and all the rest of it. And I'm sure people are going to be interested in that. There, of course, will be the sex, drugs, and rock and roll stuff in there as well. But it's, I think for me, it's important, and it's fired my interest. So, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you there. I think I definitely think
Mm.
there's a lot. I actually have very close family members who have went through similar, very similar things actually recently, and yeah, I know
Mm.
it's great because you're a guy who I mean, like we were talking about earlier. You know, you're getting back on the road. You've got plans.
Mm.
You didn't let this bring you down. You didn't let this destroy you. You're right back in the
No.
game, man, and that's really
Yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah. I did. Yes. Well, hopefully it. Well, I'm being told it is, and that's really fantastic. I'm so pleased. I mean, I didn't set out to be that,
No, of course,
uh, but but I mean that's inspiring too. People saying that to me, and
sure.
it's like, right, okay, and that's the reason we've put it on Facebook. Um,
I guess it adds to your drive,
so,
right? It
so
makes you
people
go.
can see.
Yeah,
So people can see how I'm getting on, because the outpouring of love is awesome,
yeah,
and I just want everybody to know what I'm up to and what's happening. So it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to ask you one more question here about your
Yeah.
demographic. I think we kind of touched on this, but like in Canada, even throughout all around the world, how do you find the fans are? Are you getting a lot of younger guys? Like I'm 30 years old. I'm a huge fan. I consider myself, I guess, a lot fairly younger than some of the Grim Reaper fans historically. But are you getting a lot of younger guys, like 30 or younger?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Certainly, teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and then obviously, the original Grim Reaper fans. But we are seeing much more a younger audience. I couldn't believe it to start off with, and I tried to think of a reason why it would be, but I gave up in the end because I just don't know. And maybe it's the 80s mentality, maybe it's how we write songs.
Yeah.
And maybe because there are some really good bands out there
Hmm.
that are up and coming, but they're still not creating that story, and they're not, they're belting out this metal, and it's just like it's a drudge.
Yeah.
And I'd like to take some of them by the neck and say, right, this is how you do it. But
Yeah.
my wife manages bands, and there's one that she's got hold of now. They're absolutely fantastic, but they're so far up their own backside with how they write and how they record, and they got some fantastic songs, but they're just. I've heard 5, and I've heard everything they've ever written and recorded, and I'm listening to their songs, and it's like, oh, I should have done that there. They should have done this. They should have done that there.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to get together with them because I think they're such a great band that I want to help them out. So I just want to. I won't mention anything just in case it doesn't come off. But
Sure.
yeah, they're really good, and they're really fantastic band. So yeah,
Awesome.
we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that'd be a cool little venture for you, I guess. Something different.
Yep,
That's awesome.
absolutely. Well, I've got my own studio. I mean, it might be a good thing for them to come to my studio and record somewhere totally out of their comfort zone as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That'd be good.
Absolutely. I think it's great for bands to do that. I've actually had a couple of guys on this show who have kind of done the independent recording, and then they've done the recording with
Yeah.
another third party, and they say the same thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
your best stuff comes when you're sort of challenged and having in a different environment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love it in the studio because it is a challenge, and it really is really good. I love it because it's where I shine, because I love being there, because you create something and you can instantly listen back to it and go, yeah, that's great, or then you leave it for a few days, you come back to it and it's like, you know what, I could do just a little bit better with that. So and I love it. I absolutely adore being in the studio as much as I adore being out meeting the fans. Great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great, man. That's great. Well, listen, Steve, it was a real pleasure talking to you today, man. I wish
You're
nothing but the
very
best.
welcome, my friend.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, let's chat again soon. I wish all the best, speedy recovery,
Yeah.
and can't wait to hear what you got coming out soon, man.
Okay, buddy. You take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, Steve Grimmet, really cool to hear that he's right back in the game and got big plans coming up. So, all the best to him. And right now, we're gonna listen to some Cauldron. This one's called "Burning at Both Ends."
Lost in the battlefield, a soul that cannot yield. Head first into the break with no plan for steps to take. Taken under the spell, continue to compel. Too many moves to make, never stop or you will break. Don't know the road that leads, accelerate with speed. Knowing no guarantee, pleasure of the greatest ease. Fear of not keeping pace, someone will take your place. Burn fast, fall behind, never one with fleeting time. Burning both ends, constant redeeming, no time to mend. Losing all feeling, burning both ends, no longer dreaming, the future descends. Losing all meaning, under the hill we go, too fast, no time to slow. The signs of long ago, ignore the pattern far below. Final appeal is lost, reveal the final cost. Knowing no expertise, never stop or you will see. Your time was spent, there's no repent. Ignoring the signs in the end. Burning both ends, constant redeeming, no time to mend. Losing all feeling, burning both ends, no longer dreaming, the future descends. Losing the light at the end. Lost in the battlefield, this soul cannot yield. Still down, out of place, never know your own disgrace. Steady under the spell, continue to compel. Too late to turn away, forever lost and led astray. Burning both ends, constant redeeming, no time to mend. Losing all feeling, burning both ends, no longer dreaming, the future descends. Losing your life in the end. Burning both ends, no time to mend. Burnt at both ends.
Okay, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Adam Peach. This is deTuned. I'm going to be back on Monday with Daniel Decay from Diamonds. A really awesome chat with him. And right now, we're going to check out Bedroom Game by Anvil. Have a great weekend, everyone.